name's Nick Best and welcome to this sample video from my tuition series for the Strategic Case Study exam. This particular video is a sample from my video on planning and why it's so important to planning. I've actually got a whole half-hour video on why it's important to plan. The goal is to try and convince you to plan as part of your exam. And I need to convince people because I find that even after I've gone through with people why you should plan, still lots of people don't plan. They think it's a waste of time, but it's not. The examiner says you should plan. I say you should plan. I've seen thousands of students throughout my career teaching people towards the case study exams, and those that plan do the best. So I'll leave you with this little sample that will hopefully convince you that you should be planning your answer. I want to convince you that planning is the key to your success in this exam, and that's what I'm going to aim to be doing in this video. I'm going to take you through the benefits of planning. I'm going to show you a little bit about the structure of planning as well. So a little bit about some of the elements of planning, although that's going to be for the next video. The detail of the steps of planning is next time round. But for the moment, what I'm going to be doing is showing you why you must plan, giving you a bit of that structure, but really actually trying to mostly convince you to put the time into your plan. Now, why do I need to do this? I think that the temptation that some people can have is, oh, well, you know, there's so much rush. They see that clock ticking away in the top right-hand corner of the screen, and they think, oh my gosh, I've only got 60 minutes here, and time is going down, and I'm doing a plan, and it's just on a written piece of paper in front of me, and I've got to get on and start writing. And yeah, there is that temptation, but do you know what? There's a big problem with you just getting on and start writing. And that's that you may write, but you're probably not writing with clear focus and direction. Even the brightest of students, if they plan badly, will fail the exam. They won't be focusing on the exact requirement. They won't be getting their structure right. They won't be producing the right points that relate to the pre-seen. They won't relate it to the unseen. They won't bring in all the elements of the different, in terms of balanced script, bringing in the 4 different criteria of business and people and technical and leadership. And their final script just won't be good enough. And I'll be the one not looking very happy, basically, at the end of this. So, you know, why is it that I'm here producing a whole video on this then? Surely I could just tell you the steps. Yeah, we know we need to plan. But my experience is of teaching these types of big written scenario type subjects for many, many years is that I show people how to plan, but when it comes down to it, people just rush into doing their answers. Their plans are weak and their answers tend to be weak as well. In physical courses, people writing out their scripts, back in the old days when people used to write out their scripts on paper, I used to ask people to do a script, write out their answer. You know, we would have been through all the question planning, and then at the end I would say, right, okay, let's see your plan. And probably find less than half the class had done the plan. And what was always interesting is when I subsequently went through looking at the scripts, typically, perhaps not always, but typically, those people with the plan were also the people with the good scripts. Good planning means good answers. And although it may take 5 or 10 minutes of your time at the start of each section to do this well, it's time really well spent. You will get the time back because most of your key points are already on your plan, so you don't have to think as much during the exam. So it's time well spent. Okay then, so bright student, poor plan, yep. Okay, so what are the benefits of planning we're going to go through in this video? Okay, I'm going to show you the benefits of identifying the requirements using your plan, creating a clear structure, focusing your answer on all the right things that the requirement is giving you, I'm going to show you how to use theory appropriately and how planning makes sure you bring that theory in. I'm going to show you how you can apply things to the scenario, bring the points out from that scenario, and then we know that's incredibly important for those 75% of non-technical marks, and so you have to do that. And so therefore, how does planning help? I'm going to show you how that's going to work. We also need to bring in the big picture, make it relevant to the pre-scene, get those leadership marks, how you can focus your time, and how it can stop you just waffling on and going down a track that's not actually getting any marks. So there are some benefits of clear planning. I'm going to go through each of those one by one for you. Okay, so the first thing about planning is it helps you identify the requirements. As part of the planning process, identifying the requirements is a key element of that. It's one of the steps. And you know from our video on identifying the requirements how important that is in this exam. You have to get those right. And so there has to be a stage in your process where you are spending a minute or so, really, perhaps longer, perhaps 2 to 3, really getting to the bottom of what the requirements are, exactly what's your boss or the CEO, or whoever has written this email to you, or you've been in this meeting with, exactly what they are doing. And we saw that really in that video about picking out the key points. That needs to be one step in your process, and that's helping you to your starting point is really getting to the bottom of what they want.
So I hope you enjoyed that clip. Planning is so important. It's not just me that says it, it's the examiner says it as well. She regularly comments in her post-exam guides that there's no evidence of planning, and it really is important that you plan, but you plan in a certain way. The planning structure that I recommend in my video series basically takes you through all the key things that you need to do to pass the exam. There's like a checklist of items. So you take a question, you run it through that checklist, and that means that by the end you've dealt with everything you need in order to score good marks. And then you do that for each section, as well as creating a structure and breaking down and managing your time so you know how long you're just going to spend to write on each section as well. So even if you don't use my approach to planning, you definitely need to come up with your own. But I do hope that you like this sample and that you will consider actually going ahead and buying the full set of tuition videos. There's 10 hours of videos guiding you through what it takes to pass the Strategic Case Study exam. And if you join our course, it's also included on our course as well. So you can either just buy the videos or buy the full course. The full course, of course, includes our detailed analysis of each case study as it comes out. It includes mock exams on each of those case studies and a whole range of other materials as well. So you'll find that that's really good value, and so do consider coming on our course as well. So I hope you found this useful. Do visit the website where you'll find all the details of all of our strategic case study offerings at www.astranti.com, where you just search on the Strategic Case Study.